You are ambitious, you are hardworking, and you are hungry for opportunities. But there is one obstacle that keeps getting in your way, and that is your limited fluency in English. Well, what if I told you that you can become fluent in English without a fancy tutor or expensive courses and unlock the doors to a world of opportunities? Stick around because some of the tips in this video are going to be the game changer you have been waiting for. Hi, I'm Areebirshad. I'm a communication specialist and an online educator. And on this channel, we talk about improving your communication skills and building career confidence. I get it. Not being fluent in English feels like an invisible chain that is holding you down. You cannot apply for that job abroad, cannot contribute to international meetings, and it feels like you are settling for less. So what's the solution? Practice, practice, practice. That's what a usual educator would tell you. Most people tell you to practice, but they don't talk about how to practice effectively. You see, practice is not going to take you anywhere if it's not strategic. You should aim for meaningful and focused practice. That means if you are improving your vocabulary, try incorporating one new word per day in your conversations. Make a routine to practice English at a specific place for a specific period of time. So let's say you decided to practice speaking in English at your study table at 8 p.m. for 10 minutes. Now that is a specific example of goal setting that can set a stage for you to practice English effectively. By simply doing this, you have beat 80% of the learners because most of the learners are going to learn whenever they feel like it. Now, if you are someone who likes to learn whenever they feel like it and your schedule during the day looks chaotic, the second tip is going to be effective for you. If you think you can master fluency in English without immersing yourself in it, think again. A big reason I have learned most of my spoken English is because I used to read a lot of self-help books like The Magic of Thinking Big, and I used to watch movies in English like the Mission Impossible series, the Nolan movies, the MCU, mostly before Facebook. You must have heard of that quote that you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. A similar principle applies if you want to become fluent in English. Now, if you are an introvert like me, it would be absolutely challenging to surround yourself with such people. So what can you do instead? You can surround yourself with the language. Place a book you find interesting on your study table, so if you take breaks, you can read it. Rather than watching dubbed movies, watch them in English. Listening to songs on Spotify? Why don't you switch to podcasts like Think Fast, Talk Smart? Think Fast, Talk Smart is a podcast I would definitely recommend a friend who is trying to improve his fluency in English. But I will not recommend that to you because you have not hit the subscribe button. A friend who is watching my YouTube videos has hit the subscribe button. If you hit the subscribe button, it will help me to be more consistent. It will motivate me to be more consistent on YouTube. Speaking of consistency, the next step is inspiration is fleeting, but habits last. Consistency is the glue that holds all your efforts together. You have to make English practice a daily routine. Now I know in the previous tip, I talked about building a routine. And yes, routine and consistency, these are important principles. But most people have an unclear idea about what it's like to be consistent. And I was one of those people too. You see, whenever we hear someone talk about that, hey, you should be consistent, we automatically assume that we have to repeat a particular task on a daily basis. And don't get me wrong, consistency is about repeating a pattern on a periodic basis. But it does not mean that you have to do it daily. I'm in a very chilled out mode today. See, it's your life and you could be having different priorities. Maybe your priority right now is to learn data analysis because that is the primary requirement in your domain. And learning English or improving fluency in English could be your second priority, which is totally fine. So as per your schedule, you can learn English on alternate days. You can even do that twice per week if that works with your schedule. Don't just blindly follow educators. Analyze what your routine looks like and then integrate small blocks of learning in your routine. Now, I don't know what your schedule or your routine looks like, but if you are practicing English all by yourself, all alone, the next tip is for you. If you are avoiding real conversations with real people in English, you are avoiding progress. Get out there, make mistakes, learn from them. That's how fluency happens. Don't worry, I'm not here to give you platitudes. You can join a Toastmasters club if you want to improve your fluency in English. I joined the one in New Delhi last year, and that was for a brief period of time. But the members were quite supporting and encouraging in nature. No, it's not a sponsored video by Toastmasters International, but When you join such a club, it gives you an exposure, it gives you an environment where you can have conversations with people in English. In fact, they have a rule that once the meeting is in progress, you only have to communicate in English language. If there is no Toastmasters club in your locality, you can form a group of 2 or 3 batchmates. You can gather around a place and talk about your day for 30 minutes. 30 minutes may be excessive, but the collective time could be 30 minutes. Maybe you can choose a day or you can choose a topic and you can talk about that particular topic for 5 or 10 minutes with your batchmates. To make it a bit easier in the beginning, you can have bullet points in your notes app about the topic you are going to talk about. The good thing about the phone is that you don't have to limit it to only the notes app. You can use the technology to take it to the next level. Apps like Duolingo, Cambly, and YouTube can all be part of a balanced learning diet. The age of AI is here, and by AI I do not mean areebirshad, I mean artificial intelligence. And you can use this prompt in ChatGPT to learn English all by yourself. I want to learn spoken English as a non-native speaker. Generate a 30-day lesson plan that will help a beginner or intermediate like me to become fluent in English. Every day I can dedicate only 30 minutes to learning spoken English. The output must be available in the form of a table where the first column has days and the second column has topics or subtopics that need to be covered. You can also check out websites like TalkPal AI where you can engage in immersive conversations and improve your fluency. Its free plan gives you 15 minutes per day for practice. Alright, so you have learned the keys to be a fluent English speaker. The ball is now in your court. Your fluency in English is not just a dream, it's a goal and it is attainable. If you have reached the end of the video, comment down below 1% better. And if this video genuinely helped you, hit the subscribe button because that will motivate me to create more videos like this to help you improve communication and career confidence. I'll see you next time. Class dismissed.